Alright, so you want to get your motorcycle license. Well, there's a couple things you should probably know first. Now, I'm not a professional. This is just my opinion. But this is what I learned. Let's go.
I wanted to talk to you today about the 5 things that you're either going to need to know or do to get your license for your motorcycle. 1, take a course. I cannot tell you how important this is to do. You cannot just go jump on a motorcycle and ride off into the sunset and everything's good. I'll be honest with you, I tried it. Back in October, I bought a 22 Lowrider S. I went out in my neighborhood, thought it would be very simple to go around the block and come back and park it and then wait till spring to learn how to ride it. Unfortunately, I watched one video on how to ride a motorcycle. I forgot to watch the second one, which told you how to turn the motorcycle. Ended up overshooting a turn, sideswiped the Malibu, hit a tree with a retaining wall around it, and ended up in somebody's driveway covered in oil. Not one of my finer moments. But that showed me that I needed a lot of education on this. So after that, I went out and I started to go on YouTube, and I found as much education as I could, watching motorcycle accidents from Dan the fireman, watching techniques by Moto Jitsu, doing a lot of that. And then finally in April, I went and I took the MSF course, which I strongly suggest everybody take. I had no knowledge of how to ride a motorcycle, so they taught me the basics. They taught me friction zone, how to stop, how to start it, how to go around turns, how to do all that stuff. And that stuff is very, very important to learn. So even if you have rode a motorcycle before, it's a great class to go to learn how to do it. So number 1 is going to take a course.
Woo! All right, guys. Number 2, and that is fear and anxiety about being on a motorcycle. Now, that is going to go away the more you ride the motorcycle, but you have to understand that it's okay. You have to understand that when you get on this thing, it's okay to be scared. It's okay to be anxious. You're getting on a 2-wheel death machine that you've never been on before. You are not protected in any kind of means, which is another reason why you need to go take classes. Another reason why you need to get education on it to figure this out. The more you know, the more comfortable you feel. Get out there and practice if you can before the MSF class. If you don't have an opportunity to practice with a motorcycle because you don't have one, after you take the class, just take it slow. Spend a lot of time in your neighborhoods. Get used to this bike. Get to know it. Get to know how it brakes, how it goes. The more comfortable you get with the bike, the more that fear and that anxiety is going to go away. But just remember, it's okay. It's all right to be scared. It's all right to be anxious, nervous. All that kind of stuff comes with riding a motorcycle. My first time riding a motorcycle, I actually recorded it with my GoPro, and my breathing was out of control. It was all heavy and weird, and yeah, it's gonna happen.
All right, guys, the third thing is the expense of owning a motorcycle. This is not cheap. It's not a cheap hobby. First of all, Harley-Davidson itself charges $150 an hour just to fix your bike. That's not including parts. A simple raising up of the handlebars, that could be $1,500 to $2,000 to get that done. Seats run about $350 to $650 depending on which bike you have and what you get. Very, very expensive. And that's not including the gear, helmets, jackets, pants, shoes. Trust me, you're going to want a lot of it. So keep that in mind. It is very expensive to own a motorcycle.
All right, guys, number 4 is pretty straightforward. So after you get your license, you go to the MSF course or however you get it. You do not just get on the bike and go. You're going to need to practice. You're going to need to find yourself a parking lot, practice some slow drills. Anybody can go fast in a straight line. Anybody can go out and ride on the road. But if you stop your education after you get your MSF, you're not going to be a very good rider. You've got to continue to go take courses. You got to continue to get in parking lots and practice. You have to keep learning. That is the only way that you are going to get better as a rider. And of course experience, but that goes hand in hand. So number 4, practice. Do not stop. I suggest at least once a week getting yourself into a parking lot and practicing your slow speed maneuvers. All right, so the fifth thing that you need to know is safety gear. Safety gear is expensive. I'm going to tell you right now, I bought to start off, when I started to ride, I bought a full face helmet and I bought a leather jacket. That I think was like $700 or $800. And then as I started to go, I knew that the jacket wasn't going to work in the summertime because it was going to be way too hot. So I bought a vest. And your riding gear, all the gear, all the time, I completely agree with that. But I will tell you that there are going to be times when it is hot and you're not going to want to wear it. So wear what's comfortable to you. Just try to cover up as much as possible. I also bought some MBT pants, which has air midliner in the pants, and I'm going to tell you what, right now they're extremely comfortable, but in the summertime they do get really, really hot. The next thing that I'm going to be purchasing is some shoes or some boots. And trying to upgrade some of my stuff this year and getting some more stuff. Safety gear is very important. There's also some little accessories that you can buy for safety gear. One of those is make sure your helmet can have a pin lock. Pin lock goes on the inside of your visor to help to stop fogging stuff up. And to me, that is very, very, very helpful, because in the mornings when it's cold, your helmet fogs up, it's hard to see, it's distracting. It's when you start making mistakes. And as a new rider, you don't want to have distractions. As much as possible, you want to focus on the road. So get the pin lock. Also get gloves. Make sure you get the right gloves. Don't just get gloves because they're cool looking. Make sure they're functional. All right, guys. Now, as I'm winding this video up, I want to let you know, I know the gear is expensive. I know the motorcycle's expensive. I know the parts are expensive. I know it's dangerous. So you're asking, why do I want to do this? I can tell you right now that you will not regret buying a motorcycle. You will not regret taking this to work, coming home from work, riding it on the weekends. It is just an amazing feeling to be out in this wind. They talk about how you get this feeling of freedom when you're out on one. You do. You get that feeling of freedom, but you also it's fun. It takes some stress away. It's exciting. It gets your adrenaline pumping. I can't even describe it. So with everything that I told you today, keep in mind, it is all worth it. Alright, well, thanks for watching the video, guys. Hit that like and subscribe button, and remember, ride till you fly.